Alright guys, Chris here, coming to you from Comor Sports in Whistler with Andreas.
Hey guys, what's going on?
So we're doing Capita today.
Capita Snowboards.
So of course Capita is made in the mothership in Austria, and they're known for having a zero waste, zero CO2, zero ozone emissions. So they're very clean, very eco-friendly.
Capita is trying to make sure that they're really streamlining that ecological process so that they're making the least footprint that they possibly can on the environment.
And tell us about the graphics here.
Yeah, so Capita always has a very strong graphic story every season, and the boards sort of all kind of tie together as far as what their art is. This year, it's the portal of infinite realities. Everything is possible. The church of quantum interconnectedness. So, yeah, kind of out there, kind of spacey, definitely on the more psychedelic realm of graphic stories.
Yeah, it's kind of like an 80s dystopian future with like women wearing weird colored veils with like triangular pyramids on their heads.
Yeah, they're healers.
And then in terms of their pro riders,
yeah,
Scotty
Stevens, Jess Kimura, Kazu, KOKUBO, some of the biggest names in the industry.
So first snowboard out the blocks, we're coming out strong with the DOA, the Defenders of Awesome. Highest selling board, it's a great all-rounder. It's winner of 7 times undefeated Goodwood Awards.
So you know it's good. Yeah guys, so when you look at this sucker, first off, it's a twin. It's a true twin, which is important to a lot of people that ride park. It's gonna ride the exact same backwards as it will forwards, so no problems landing in switch or riding in reverse. It's a very versatile camber profile. The camber gives you the stability that you want, the pop that you're looking for, and then that flat section to a rocker tip and tail still gives you very good turning initiation, makes the board feel a little bit less hooky, and it also gives it better flotation when you're in deeper snow. So it's a great all-rounder, and it's a medium flex, about 5.5 out of 10.
They got the Wapow
flat kick, the FKN technology. Flat at the very end point so that you get the most surface area for loading ollies and landing jumps.
Blended radial side cut. Right, so it's kind of traditional shape in terms of the radialness, but it's getting a little tighter towards the middle and then evening back out on the other side. Kevlar in the sidewalls. So basically designed to be like bomb-proof for impact. So get in the park if you're hitting rails. And then it's got their carbon fiber beams going from tip to tail just inside the contact points. And yeah, it's going to give you some nice pop back. And then the graphics are from silkscreen as well, so you get nice contrast in the graphics between all the colors. And then in terms of the graphic itself, that weird lady with the pyramid head.
She's got a healing triangle on her head.
This has got their quantum base, so centered base, very fast. It's going to be durable, it's going to be strong, you're just going to have to look after it a little bit more, so make sure you get some wax on it. Cool, so yeah, if you do park, if you do all mountain, definitely check out the Capita DOA, one of the best selling boards out there and proven winner.
It's a good all-rounder.
Next board, carrying on with the trend that a lot of companies are doing, is superfying their snowboards. So we have the Super DOA.
Typically what we're seeing out of these super or pro profiles is just a lighter, higher end quality build. This board is probably like the marquee snowboard at their facility, taking all of the different technologies and prototyping and putting it into, you know, this one awesome package. One of the coolest things about this snowboard is their brand new 3D core profiling. You can see here when you look at the top sheet, they've milled out sections here and in the tip and the tail. And what this has done is it's reinforced the areas of the snowboard that require more depth, more wood, more stability, and then they've milled out sections that don't require reinforcement so that you get a lighter board, you have way better swing weight, it's more pliable in that tip and the tail to give you really good flex when you're loading an ollie or landing a jump.
Through the shapes and through the flex, you actually get a different feel, and they've like made that so that you get a more progressive feel that you can lean into a press. As you get into it, it gets harder, and so the pressability is easier at the beginning and then more progressive as you get into it.
Also a twin shape in this guy. You got a really lightweight core. The board is extremely snappy. It returns to shape really fast.
With the flax in their rods, that also given like dampening as well, so it's going to be better for like bigger jumps, bigger features, harder impacts.
Yeah, you get some vibration control in the snowboard.
Top sheet, it's got the triax as well, fiberglass, so it's torsionally going to be a little bit stiffer too. In terms of the base, they have their quantum, or their hyper. It's their hyper, isn't it?
It's their hyperdrive.
Which is the even higher quality sintered base. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to look after this base.
Yeah, guys, you can see that there is a structure in the base of this, which means that they've imprinted a texture onto the base. It's designed to channel the snow more directly, giving the board better glide, making it feel faster. The person that had the DOA before that now wants to try the Super DOA, you don't need to feel like this is going to be some next level harder to ride board. It's the same flex category, it's just super lightweight, and it's incredibly snappy, so you get a lot of response out of this board.
So yeah, Super DOA, if you want a better high quality version of the amazing DOA, good for maybe the bigger person or the person that's hitting bigger features, faster speeds.
Or for the person that just really wants a lightweight combo, this is going to be super nimble and agile, being slightly lighter than the regular DOA.
Yeah, you can feel it.
A reminder to take a little bit better care of yourself.
And then next up we have one of their park boards with the coolest graphics. The Outsiders.
This is their more performance-oriented park category snowboard. Definitely for the guy who wants a little bit of a firmer park board. Great for jumps, great for aerials, great for side hits and kickers. This thing is utilizing their camber shape with a zero camber in the tip and the tail. There's camber between the inserts and then a flat section, and that flat section makes for a board that has a lot of loadability and landing capacity out of the tip and the tail of the snowboard. It's still a twin, so great for that person who's park inspired, who wants a board that's going to land and switch perfectly. And then it's also utilizing their quantum drive base, which is a fancy way of saying it's a higher end sintered base. Hey Chris, tell us about the Technora Amarid boosters with flax.
Well, the Technora Amarid boosters with flax offer a more ecologically friendly version of carbon with all the dampening of flax. So basically it's like their amplifier, but it's just a little bit more carbon friendly.
So you still get a lot of power out of the board, feels very lively and energetic, but at the same time, you don't get all of those vibrations traveling up your leg. Feels nice and damp, which is easier on the knees. So it's got the ABS sidewall in it, which is like a rubberized material. It's very good for dampening vibrations, and it's also good for overall durability. It can take a lot of impacts.
Oh, and then the core is their P2 super lightweight core, so it's even lighter than their standard models, but still giving you all that flex.
And that's great for when you're in the air, you know? You want a really lightweight board for when you're doing aerials, rotations. You want to really reduce that swing weight if you can.
Are we going to get onto the graphics? Are we going to talk about the graphics here?
Chris, I think this is my favorite graphic out of the entire lineup. It's just so weird. Your idea here is that in the future, you'll be able to open up portals to different dimensions and date amongst other species of humanoid creatures.
Well, sorry, we got Turkey Lady Chameleon Head and then Praying Mantis face.
I really like how the chameleon, it looks excited, it looks happy. She looks like she's totally excited to go on the date. And then there's like weird dinosaurs in the background that are being intercepted by some type of like space fighter. So
when your interdimensional date accidentally brings dinosaurs firing flames to your date.
Yeah, you know.
It's a bummer.
You gotta watch out for that. That's definitely one of their more denser bases. It's designed to take a beating. So they know that you're gonna ride it in park. They know you're gonna be smashing it around off of boxes and rails. So it's their more high impact resistant base. Yeah.
So if you want the best looking park board out there, take the Turkey Lady out for a date. Are you having a good time?
Oh, I thought so. Alright guys, next up we've got the Capita Mercury. This is sort of like the bigger brother to the Outsiders. You can imagine a little bit firmer and definitely designed to be more in the backcountry, more in the powder conditions.
Yes, so this is a twin shape, but it has a 1/2 inch setback, so it is a directional board. In terms of the profile, it has a camber between the insert points and then a rocker tip and tail, and so that camber just gives you that nice pop, that ability to load it in ollies and jumps, things like that. And then the rocker on the tip and tail gives you a little bit of forgiveness, a little bit of a surfy feeling, and so a little bit better in the powder as well.
Yeah, way better flotation, I would say.
And then in terms of additives, it has 8 bits of bamboo in here in total. It has 2 on the toe and the heel on both feet, just running up alongside the insert points. And then it has their amplifier as well, and that runs from just behind the insert points to the contact points. And so that's all about delivering pressure to contact points and then also giving you that dampening as well from the flex.
It gives you great control, very good steerability. This is for that person who wants to take all of those freestyle elements into deeper snow conditions.
Tri-ax top sheet, bi-ax bottom sheet, so pretty rigid.
Yeah, you get
sturdy.
good torsional rigidity, and overall I would say the board's like a 6.5 out of 10.
And then in with those additives too, you have their Panda core, which is their lightweight, sustainable core. And then on the base, you have their hyperdrive, extra speed through the flat sections.
Has some structure to the base as well, so you get that texture in there to really help channel the flow of the snow.
Oh yeah, and it's stiff. It's hard to bear hug and submit.
You can see that it shares some of the graphic story to the Kazu, so you still get this sort of brush stroke that's traveling through the board.
Yeah, and so in terms of like what it sets out to do, the company says it's for the guy that doesn't check the weather report, he just shows up and rips.
For the guy that does not check the weather report, he just shows up and rips.
He doesn't even look at his phone before he goes and leaves the house.
This guy doesn't even know what
crazy.
day of the week it is.
And then also, just today, they released, for the newest member of the Capita team, Arthur Longo, the 157 with the custom graphic. He sends it on the side hits. Holy moly.
Yeah, man, if you
It's
watch
like orbital, dude.
if you watch their little promo video that they just put out, that guy rails a side hit and he goes super big. Lots of air.
He just keeps going up. I think it's the highest I've seen somebody hit a side
With
hit.
like very little landing too.
Mhm.
So yeah, pretty awesome rider.
And then next up we have Capita's Japan powder slaying snowboard.
Yeah, man.
The Kazu from Kazu KOKUBO.
This is Kazu KOKUBO's Pro model, and the first thing that I will say about this board is check out that fantastic intrinsic top sheet. It's designed to be a Japanese calligraphy brush stroke. Kazu obviously is Japanese in his heritage, and this board is designed for Japan powder. You can use this board as an all-mountain powder slaying weapon. It's designed for the person who has all of those tricks in mind in their back pocket from the park, but they then want to take it into the powder. So out of the series, this is the first one that we've talked about that's now tapered.
Yeah, the taper is 7 mils to 10 mils depending on the size. And then the other thing that really helps with the float as well as the profile. So it has camber that kind of goes from the front insert point right to the back tail contact point. It goes like right into there, and then the nose is a rocker. And so it's got a really stunted tail that just helps sit in the snow and give you a little bit of pop off of it. And then that rocker nose just gives you ultimate float in the deep powder. It's got their ash wood grain top sheet. We got bamboo running through it as well, like the Mercury, and then the same configuration with the amplifier as well, going from just behind the insert points. So you're gonna get that really good transfer of energy from your feet and also that dampening effect. It's got the tri-ax top, bi-ax bottom, and that stuff together adds up to a 6.5 on the flex scale. So a little bit, so it's gonna be giving you back a little bit more. And yeah, just have a blast in the freestyle and the powder, getting face shots and just killing it.
Alright guys, so the Capita Birds of a Feather, this is very similar to the men's version of the DOA. It's a camber underfoot with flat zones past the insert points and then a rocker tip and tail. All of the stability, responsiveness, and tried and true traditional shaping of a cambered snowboard with a little bit more of a pliable and loadable tip and tail. You can really get a nice butter, you can get a lot of energy and response out of an ollie, and it's really good for landing a jump. The very tip in the tail, as it lips up, has a flat section called their flat kick, And flat kick is designed to just give you more loadable surface area for loading and landing jumps. And it's also very durable if you take this guy into the park. And it's also a true twin snowboard.
So it has the carbon fiber beams running tip to tail, one on either side, on your toes and your heels, and then top sheet, and then it's got fiberglass tracks, biax on the bottom, so very torsionally strong without being too strong. But yeah, it's definitely going to hold a lot of power through it.
They've brought this one down to about a 4 out of 10 flex, and that's really just designed to meet a women's weight category. And then the top sheet on this guy has always been super popular. This year it's a morphing owl. So
it's definitely going to be a killer in the park, around the mountain. Definitely a board to check out.
One board to rule them all. It's a good all-rounder category snowboard for women. And then, yeah, really hard to beat that top sheet.
And then coming from a land far, far away is the Paradise. So this is designed kind of like the Mercury, but unlike the Mercury, this is a true twin. It has camber between the feet with a rocker, tip, and tail. And so that's going to give you that poppability with the camber, but that rocker is going to make it floatier, a little bit more forgiving, a little bit less hooking on the snow. ABS sidewalls, and then for extra strength on the board, they have Titanal struts. They have struts. It's basically bits of hardened aluminium that run from just behind the insert points up towards the tip and tail, and you have 2 on the nose, 2 on the tail. So that's going to provide you snapback, strength, rigidity through the board, and just make it better for ollieing and landings.
An added reinforcement.
Sometimes we need that. And it's got their sintruded base. And so this is a kind of mix of sintered and extruded, where they use sintered material in the extruded process, and it makes some kind of amalgamation Frankenstein monster of the both, where it's still nice and glidey, but being nice and durable and hard to abrade. So it's a 5 out of 10, so it's going to be a little bit stiffer than the birds, and it feels one stiffer.
What do you think of the top sheet graphic, Chris?
Yeah, it's pretty kind of psychedelic out there, Paradise.
It's like an interdimensional paradise.
So a great hard durable board for the all mountain, for the lady that wants to go explore around and have something nice and rigid under her feet that she can go rip on. Check it out, the Paradise. Cool. Well, thank you, Andreas, for use of the store here to come down and check out Capita. Definitely one of the most popular boards in Whistler. Mm-hmm. And we have the selection of Capita best suited for out here in this terrain, and they
rip.
rip.
The topography of Whistler, for the topography of British Columbia.
Ever since you got complimented on using the word topography, now you're just going to throw it in wherever.
Yes. But yeah, guys, Capita snowboards, they're some of the most award-winning snowboards of all time. The DOA is definitely our bread and butter here in the store. One of the things I always talk about when I talk about Capita is their awesome snowboard movies. So there's Defenders of Awesome and Defenders of Awesome 2. And if you guys haven't seen those films, you should definitely check them out. Scotty Stevens alone is definitely worth the spectacle.
Of course, Capita, a great snowboard company if you guys are interested in looking after the environment with their dedication towards being eco-friendly.
Yeah, eco-sustainability is a huge factor in their branding.
And then really cool to see the 3D core profiling on the Super DOA, which I want to get my feet on.
3D core profiling on it is definitely special. It's unique to the world of snowboarding.
Cool. Well, thanks again to Andreas for letting us come down. Make sure you check out his channel. I'll put a link at the end. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel already, then please do hit the like button. Share this if you can, because small snowboard channels need your guys' help. So yeah, thanks again for coming out. Thank you, Mr. Comor.
There is no Mr. Comor.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye.